Hello there, it's late afternoon Friday. I finally looked at the clock. I didn't know what the heck time it was. I've been dragging ever since I come back from North Carolina. So we just finished up the U.S. Airmail light beacon south of Salem. We stopped in a veterinary clinic and asked where it was and everything, and left a map there. They showed the dot across the road. There is a spot for, way in the backyards across the road that it could be. So this video is going to be Guilford Lake State Park, Columbiana County, Ohio. And we're going to make a clockwise rotation around the lake and bother you with too much conversation. One-sided, unless you want to comment. Family Dollar, that's got to be real handy down here with nothing around. So there's a mobile home park on the right, and the house is here. It's kind of below the dam on the right. Excuse the language. And there's a restaurant down here. I'm sure they're pretty busy on a Friday, and we'll loop around. There was a guy, twice I came to pick him up for he wanted to ride a Conrail so we could use the company truck. And each time I did it, he was gone. It's one of those guys that complained about at work, but whenever I worked with him, he was actually probably about the best there was. I learned that the more they complained about somebody, they actually turned out to be the superior people, not just good and very good. So there's a cabin here, a lake house you can rent from the restaurant. It's actually, wow, it's beautiful. I don't think there's anybody there today. This is Mark's Landing Restaurant, and well, it looks like the boats are put away. They got one left here. I haven't been here for almost 3 weeks. I kayaked the entire lake. Now you can park your boat, and the dock height now is set up more for pontoons. Nobody's eating outside, so I'd like to see what kind of what I do. Well, you can see I go crazy in the kayak here, changing instead of going around in circles. So I can imagine, because I keep going back and forth across from cove to cove and then figure eighting in every cove. So it probably looks like a lot more kayaking than what I'm really doing, but it was when you stay along the shoreline and stuff, you kind of go slow. And if you hug the shoreline here real close behind the docks, it's a 7-mile perimeter, and it might be even the little bay on the western end that's real shallow. And if you loosely do it, it's over 6 miles. So it was a community of mostly cabins and rental cabins that were pretty economical. Now people are coming in and building way oversized homes, even blocking people from the other side of the street from their view, using every inch of the property, because I don't think there's any zoning. Wow, that rental is nice. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's so close to home. So there's the dam, and yeah. Tomorrow's going to be cold. Maybe I can get back out there. I wanted to the last 2 days, but like I said, I'm just dragging ever since we came back. So, going back out to Route 172, which if you go to the left, it intersects Depot Road and then intersects the Lincoln Highway. And you hit Lincoln Highway into Lisbon. Or you can do Lincoln Highway back to Canton and stuff. 172 here, go take it East Canton. And actually meet up, 30 and 72 will actually meet up again in East Canton. So this was constructed almost 200 years ago in the 1830s to be part of a smaller canal route between the Muskingum River, which is near I-77, and go down to the Ohio River. And it was just never done with all the money it needed. Never done right, and not much was used on it. And somebody got fancy, tried to make 2 tunnels, and the tunnels just weren't. They should have just opened them up and, you know, dug in. Probably would have been less work. The tunnels were problematic. A dam burst that actually closed down. The dam fed the locks in Lisbon. There's like 14, 15 locks go up and down a steep hill off of this road. And the first lock was on this road, I believe. And I think it's McKinley. There's a McKinley home down there. It's President McKinley's family or something. And a Boy Scout camp. So this is where we used to launch for years with antique boats and motors, called Red Maple Landing and stuff. So we'll tour through here. Beautiful tree colors. I kind of like without the sun shining and everything. And there's not going to be any glare, so you can see everything. And we'll make a loop around here, and then we'll loop back and try to cover the whole lake for you. So this is for people that are interested in what it looks like. And if you're away from home, especially military, and you're homesick, you can look back in, because your mind kind of changes memories and stuff if you're gone away a long time. That wine's just the electric car. So we're in a Nissan Leaf. We make electric car videos. The car does more than what they're saying. Like I said, we just made a trip to North Carolina, and no fast charging down there, so it was a challenge. And it was great. I enjoyed every bit of it. I loved it. This car is amazing. So we got the pontoon boats. I'm sure they're going to be pulling stuff out. I don't know when they're going to drain it down below and stuff. Wow, good kick, little guy. Nice kick. Kids over here playing football. 50 years after me and my family were out doing it as kids. Wow, these guys can move the ball pretty good. Nice catch. Oh, little girl on some kind of little single wheel skateboard thing. Oops, somebody's pulling their sailboat out. So even though I had a sailboat on a lake south of here, I never learned to sail. I used it as a camper to live on, and it had an Evinrude 6 on there, long shaft, and that's how I motored around. 2010, I decided I was going to take sailing lessons, and my neck injury health went in the toilet worse than it was before. So, and I think in 15, before they put me in a nursing home, we sold off the sailboat. Kitty. So these are the nice smaller ones and stuff, cabins, and they were actually, you know, even much smaller ones. And you could pick one up for 10 to 20 grand in the 90s. They would auction them off. So what people are doing, they're buying them 1, 2, or 3, and then you'll see up here on the right, they're putting houses in. And that's fine and good, but see the garages now. When you're putting something up that's blocking the people across the street's view, I take issue with that. It's just kind of selfish. As you can see, the one up here on the right's been here for quite a while. I mean, they try to use every inch to build on. And so this one on the right here, it's all gravel down below. They just put this one in, and it actually did a nice job. It's a lot of rough terrain, like West Virginia terrain, to put these in here. The water's pretty far down below. So, when you do lakes in boats for years, you realize the people that live on the lake with their dream home, their dock, and their boat are absolutely the last people to get out there and use them. I guess it's there all the time, and we can do it anytime, and they don't. So us coming back to Route 172, we'll go around a little bit of the lake that sticks out here, and head back to the north, and then loop around again toward the west end. So, and the red roof here on the right, that's one of the first steel roofs, you know, when they were coming back in fashion. It was the first one I seen, and now they're all over the place. If you got a good structure and you got the funds, those things can last 100 years, at least even. There's places north of Columbus that have a lot of the old steel roofs. Wow, did you see all the junk on that guy's dashboard? What in the world was that about? Wait, I got a pamphlet on that right here on my desk somewhere. Give me an hour or two. What in the world? Probably parking tickets. So you can see the lake here on the right. So I think it's the map in 1840 shows this and the other lake to the east that almost paralleled it, and they both were part of the called the Sandy Beaver Canal system. So waters of the Sandy River or Creek and Beaver Creeks or whatever combined, and this is like the center point. It came up, you know, from the west here and then headed out east. And both this and the other feeder lake, the dams broke, I think, in the 1840s or by 1850s, and drained them out. And sometime in the Depression, they redid the dam here and opened it back up as a lake. And there is a community called Guilford, spelled a little different, that we'll end up at the end and everything. And he was like a foreman or a manager on the canal system. Another newer house. That one's done real nice in the back, but again, they do this and you don't see them out there with all they built to enjoy. So the metal roofs, they've really become popular. And my house is so much roof, it would cost a fortune. My roof would be like the perfect solar roof. Whoops, sticking around. My main house, the roof, it's just all roof. Faces east and west, and then my garage has got a nice south-facing roof in the winter for solar. I don't know, you know, it would take money to do that, and then you got the battery storage. So the thing about the battery storage thing would probably be the best thing to start with that. If you're in a place, they now offer the option here with the High Edison that you can go with the rates that lower at nighttime, higher in the daytime. And since me and the wife are pretty much retired and home all day, it wouldn't benefit us. So with the storage battery, like, you program that to store electricity at night when the rates are low, and then, you know, on your system you use that first before you use anything off the power poles in the daytime, and that way you're living off the lower power rate. So people park here, no fish here and stuff. They lined everything with stones because you could pretty much launch anywhere on this lake. The stones, I guess, for erosion and stuff, but it's a lot of Canadian geese that make a mess of the shoreline. I wish God would have gave them a different voice, because that is one annoying bird. There's a pavilion here. This lake. It used to be bigger here, and then everything they dredged out to put on the shoreline on this side, and that was in the late 90s. So they try to make it deeper. There's still some shallow spots you can see when the water drops in the wintertime. So they redid this boat ramp up here a few years ago, and I was launching out here off the grass, and actually a lot of nighttime stuff. And I haven't been out here at night for 2 years. I think I ordered lights from New Zealand for my kayak, LED nav lights, and boy, there's nothing like being out on a clear night looking for shooting stars in the middle of the lake. It's just so peaceful and calm. You'll have fish jumping here at night. Once it gets dark, they run into the kayak, hit them with the paddles. I don't know what kind of fish they are. But yeah, we used to launch here, and they dumped these rocks here a couple years ago. I'm like, oh gee, thanks. Everybody launched here on the right, and they just did it for erosion. And yeah, and you come back and there's 2 lights, and you I'd pull the van up here. Never lifted it. I slid it in and out the van with a neck injury. If I lift it, then I'm screwed for a few days. So there's a double parking lot here. This one gets closest to the water. And summer's over. It's October already. And yeah, I noticed the end of August, people go back to school and they stop coming here. So it's just like a 2-month beach now instead of 3 months. Yep, somebody built a new house there on the right. Guess they will go by on the next road. Yeah, they tore down what was like a little cabin or house. Another oversized home. Dad used to drive us down here 50 years ago in a Packard. He'd bring a towel with you to sit on the seats on the way home. And we'd all go swimming. It was a big swimming area for a family way back then. I feel like my screen's filling up all the way or something here. I'm going to cut you off for a second and see what's going on. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully I wasn't shooting a narrow screen or something. Something was screwy. Now I've got the whole screen lit up, so. And both these roads go the same way. And there's another entrance up here on the right where you can go down to the water or the beach. There used to be a concession stand years ago. Yeah, I'll make a loop there so you can see it. I don't think I've ever done it unless I passed it up. Huh, I think I passed it up. Oh, it's the gravel road. Sorry. We'll go around the campground anyway. So yeah, there's another, it's a less used parking spot there. Yeah, well, I don't know what I did with the screen on that. Let's see. You can watch it on your old TV if it's an narrow screen. it's back to widescreen. It's one of those things when you hit the button, you might hit something else. So we're crossing the campground here. We camped there years ago. There was the hold your breath bathrooms. So they got modern bathrooms, and they redid everything and put more rocks along the shoreline, but there's docks and stuff now too. Oh, that boat we just passed, I think it's a two-person pedal boat with a nice keel or something. It's an expensive one. Needs bleached and washed. I didn't see it on the water this year, but I looked at it for the last 3 years. It's pretty interesting. Well, we're back to Tea Garden Road. That's the road we turned on at the west end. It loops around to here. And actually, when you come up to the left, if you look at the map, it actually used to go straight through. And now it loops around. They closed off a road, that was open. I guess we'd call it ancient times. Oh, Friday night, campers coming in. We'll loop around the campground. Huh. Well, at least they won't have to use their AC. They're going to be running heat, I guess. And why are we holding up traffic here? Not like you're gonna make a U-turn, dude. Just go. It says camper on the right. I took a picture of when it was sitting down there. I called it the long trailer. Somebody finally moved it, and they haven't moved it since. It looked better before they moved it. Oh dear God. Scrap the thing. Wow, they're busy. Well, cool thing about electric car is you go camping, and we might do it just for the photographic stuff on Lake Erie. You just put your car on charge. They got 50 amp plugs. And level 2 on this will draw 30 amps of the 50. And level 1 is just 12 amps. And if it gets too cold for the tent, you just come back in the car. Huh. Don't recognize the plate. I wonder if it's Ontario or something. Well, we don't know. We're blocking traffic from both ends. And the trailer looks like it ramps open, whatever, like for little recreation vehicles and stuff. What's this say on the back? Or is it blocking everybody? Make a decision, left or right, and go with it. That's the wheel I was talking about. I saw across the lake somebody was on it, and it looked like they were too small. Thank God the little guy's got a helmet. Minnesota. Yeah, they don't seem to know where they're going. Holy crap. I don't think we can go around them either. All you gotta do is go around the circle if you don't see a campsite. Yay! They're moving. They're moving. Make a decision. Oh God, don't. You gotta turn. Oh wow. dual axle. It's kind of balanced all right. Makes it easier to turn. Just wonder which way they're going. No, I guess we could have went around here. Wow, they are like dead in the water. I will make a loop around here while they're trying to gain their wits. There's a little beach here. And I guess they have rental kayaks, and there's actually it's like the kayak I have lights for. Those red ones. They're Perception Sounds, and for a low price kayak, I recommend those. And the prices are $200-300 less than when I bought mine. Really an excellent kayak. I've put more miles on that kayak than I have on many of my boats put together. Oh, cute little trailer. I grew up with Dad had trailers. I don't want one. The new ones, they use vinyl instead of aluminum, and even the aluminum, the wood underneath doesn't hold up, and the wood at the entryway, you get wet feet and it rots or disintegrates because it's probably OSB. Yeah, we'll try this again, and we can finish up the tour. So we got 2 empty spots here, and there's tags on there, so they might be reserved. It's a little too close to home for me, and a lot of work setting up a tent and all that stuff just to be 6-7 miles from home. Oh, playground, that wasn't there years ago. Yeah, we camped here in the 90s or whatever, and it was very primitive. Ugh, disgusting, in fact. And it was so long ago they had a payphone here. No, this camping stuff is mostly for people that want to get along with their neighbors and be closer to them. I go in the winter when there's nobody in these places. I just want to be by myself. I got my photography work to do, and usually doing some kind of history research and stuff like that. No coachman. They're still setting up stuff here. So, somebody's got a nice load of wood for a week or two there. Momentum, we're lacking that like crazy. Here. That little tent site on the left here, it's got electric. 2 of them. That's pretty cool. I could tent there. Well, I want the parking spot though. Oh, 4 neon. Because I'm going to use the electric to charge the car, or use I've got a heater that goes in the tent. The tent's got a little, wow, nice wood setup. Jeez. My tent's got a little channel for the extension cord to go in there to run the heater. So, I wonder if they're going to go in here. Wow, that place is set up nice for the weekend and stuff, and over a week. Probably all the people that were waiting for summer to end so they can get out there, and I'm waiting for them to give up on it. I wear thermal underwear and stuff. And I can always bring my van, which is what I used to do, sleep in the van or sleep in the tent. In fact, I got the back seats folded down, and they're a little higher than the platform in the back, so I'd have to get just the right size tote to even things out to get in the car. And then the electric car, you can run the heat or air conditioner and have it plugged into the outlets here at these camping spots, and stay nice and cozy. Just you don't have your ignition on, you just you hit the ignition twice without hitting the gas pedal, and you'll get where you can run the AC and run the heat. And Teslas even, some Teslas even have a camp mode in them. But yeah, the deal here, I have enough room laying diagonally in the back, and then you just got to have a tote or something to build it up where it's even. The back seat's higher than the front because that's where the bulk of the battery sits, is under the rear seats. So we're at the south end of the lake, back on Tea Garden again, and I think it's East View, East Side or something up here. We'll turn right, and we'll take a little stop in there, and you can take a look, and we'll end our tour. I think it's back on Baker Road, which was the old community of Guilford, just less than 200 years ago. So the canal system, you can drive down off of 172 in Lisbon. I think it's Furnace Road. It follows the canal down, and there's two locks right on the edge of the road, and they were roughly done. They were low on funds, so they just piled a bunch of rocks, and then they lined the canal or the lock with wood. Where some of the finer built locks, the stones just fit so perfect and nice. But I had funding from Philadelphia and stuff, because even the railroad here is Port of Philadelphia, and this whole part of the country, you're either Port, New York, Baltimore, or Philadelphia, which is Delaware Bay. They just wanted to expand the Erie Canal. That's New York. Head to Lake Erie or Buffalo or whatever. So, ranger station's up here on the right, so a lot of people fish around this little cove here. So there's the office and stuff. And this is where I park to do most of my photography and stuff. I'm on Fine Art America. And I put the Vanguard Tripod Company set me an extra part that I modified to get the tripod all the way to the ground, so I get a more reflection of the water. Cattails expanded nicely. Used to be a Spinnaker's restaurant here, and then it became the Guilford Grill, and then I think the owner died off. And they expanded the place to an extent where the property tax is very high, with the bocce ball fad. I'm not sure it's still a thing nowadays. So it's been for sale for years. When it was Spinnaker's, it was a real nice place to come and eat and everything. Mark's Landing, the one that we already went by, you can see it from here. If I'm looking out to my right, I don't want to do anything while I'm driving. I learned my neighbors on that when I was a teenager. I did not know that. And to the left here, the canal goes off to the east, and I think that there's a southern route around here where the canal came in from the west or whatever, and this pretty much the central point of the whole thing. So most of the locks east of here survive, and a good many of the ones to the west do not. So, yeah, it used to be a bait store on the left here, a little parking lot down below the dam. And if you turn right, this is Baker Road. Glen Baker on the right has an archery store, and you can get your kayaks or your boat licensed if you got the appropriate paperwork. And he's got fishing and hunting supplies there. Glen's Archery and Tackle. So that's it. And we got some nice color and stuff, and no glare from the sun or the phone overheating from the sun. So, pretty good day. I'm gonna. The next road is Depot. It's pretty much the road I live on. I'm gonna head home. Might go to Atwood Lake tomorrow with some kind of antique outboard group. It's gonna dress warm because it's gonna be chilly. And it doesn't look like I'm gonna get my. I won't get my boat finished this year. So, be a over winter project to finish up the seats and all that stuff, and hopefully paint the whole inside and out next year. If it comes out good, I'll clear coat the darn thing. I haven't painted for quite a few years. All right, we're headed back north of Depot Road. This turns into Route 45. If you keep going, it'll go through Warren. Goes by my house in Salem. And when it turns into Route 45, it shifts over a little bit in Warren, but this ends at Lake Erie. And south of I-90, I ran in some stuff in the spring doing the trip in this. And it was at Don King, the boxing promoter with the crazy hair years ago. He's got a training camp on this road up north. And the next road, 534, that runs north and south from here to Lake Erie, that ends in Geneva on the Lake. Mike Tyson owned a house. We actually looked at this fantastic house when my kids and me took my mother out for a ride. There was cameras everywhere. Like, oh my God, I didn't know. What is Mike Tyson doing in Amish country with Don King? It's basically Amish country up there. So now some church is redoing it or whatever. So you can Google that stuff. There's some real wild cement statues in the Don King thing. I was like, what is this place? There's a training camp in Ohio on this road up north. Who would have thought? So there's Tea Garden Road. That's the one we just turned off of to hit the east side lake. So you go back to Guilford that way. The Salem Reservoir is to the right. There's a bridge to the right. This valley was the other reservoir in the 1830s and 40s for the canal system. It actually went over the road here. The Cold Run is the creek that runs through here, and they filled it up. So, all right, I figured you like a little bit of that. I'll do some towns around here and stuff like that soon. Over and out. Be safe out there.